Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be taking a dive into r/BestOfRedditorUpdates. We have a misbehaving husband today, yes we do. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in listening to with me today, then please do stick around and enjoy! And don't forget to like and subscribe, please, thank you! Of course, we have a little bit of a disclaimer. Any opinions that I give on these posts that we read today are just opinions. They are not fact. Do not need to be taken as such. If you have a different opinion, that's fantastic. Please do feel free to leave it in the comments below. Just make sure you're being respectful. There is no need to be mean to anyone that you do not agree with. With that being said, let's get into it, shall we? So this first one was posted by Direct Caterpillar and it says, I, 32F, think my husband, 33M, may be having an affair with the girl, 19F, next door. I'm also pregnant. This has layers. Goodness me. So, of course, Direct Caterpillar 77 is not the original poster. They are the person that compiled it together for us, like a lovely little bean. The original poster is u/Hella Preggers, originally posted in r/relationship advice with a trigger warning for infidelity on April 12th, 2019. So, let's get into the meat and potatoes of it all, shall we? My husband and I have been married for 4 years, dated for 7. We have 1 son, 2, and I'm 6 months pregnant. I love him deeply. He's a very busy lawyer and often comes home late at night. I never thought he'd cheat on me, but since I began to get bigger, we've been having less sex. A few months ago, a young woman moved into the condo about 2 doors down. She's a very beautiful girl, but a bit aloof to me. We did invite her over to a dinner party when she first came. A few weeks ago, I noticed that my husband followed her on Instagram and added her on Snap. Is Snapchat even a thing people use anymore? Like, genuinely curious. I actually don't know anyone who uses it, to be fair. I asked him about it and he said that she followed him first and he didn't want to be rude. Last week I started noticing him using his phone more and more and generally being distracted. He said it was due to work, but 2 days ago I saw a Snap notification on his phone with our neighbour's name on it. I asked him why he was Snapchatting her and he said that she was interested in law and was asking him career advice. At 12 AM apparently. Yeah, see, now I could have believed the asking for career advice, but the fact that it's via Snapchat and 12 AM, come on now, mate, think of a better excuse for goodness sake. Via Snapchat, yes, exactly, that's the bit that baffles me too. 12 AM via Snapchat, nothing good on Snapchat used to happen. I mean, at any point, to be quite fair, but especially during the night. Yesterday, I was taking his suits to the dry cleaners and found a receipt for a sushi restaurant from a few nights ago, when he said he was working late at his office. The sushi restaurant is close to our condo complex and nowhere near his office. There were 2 meals billed on the receipt. I confronted him when he came home from work and he said he took a client out for dinner, but there were so many nice restaurants near his office. Why the one near our house? I'm almost 90% certain he's cheating. What should I even do? I'm about to be a mother of 2. I never even prepared myself for the possibility of this happening in our marriage, and definitely not this soon. Advice, please. So then, relevant comments. Carnivore69 says, given you can't be certain he's cheating, yet, the first thing you need to do is quit confronting him for every discrepancy you notice. By doing so, he'll be more and more aware you're picking up on his activities, whatever they are. If those activities involve cheating, your actions will likely cause him to be more stealthy and adept at covering his tracks, exactly. Use more restraint and let the evidence pile up until you can ascertain what's really going on. And also, if it is all just coincidentally innocent, the last thing you want to be doing is accusing him every 5 minutes because, you know, at this point, this could just be all coincidental, all innocent. We are on Reddit, so I doubt it. But it could be. Sometimes it goes that way. Shockingly, I know. So yeah, the last thing you want to do is just be accusing someone constantly because that's going to cause a breakdown of any relationship, you know? And if he's not actually up to anything untoward, then, it's not fair on him to blame him constantly and accuse him. And also, yes, this commenter makes a very good point that it is a very good idea to keep a low profile when you suspect people of things like this, because if you let them know that you're onto them before you're ready to really confront them, they will cover their tracks, they will hide evidence, and they will be able to come up with a very good excuse to be why it's all in your head and you are all wrong, when actually you could be right, but you've shown your hand a bit too early. So then the commenter goes on to say, and be sure to document your findings however you can. In the meantime, act like your antenna isn't up and let him relax around you. And then Pointless Username says, I would tell my partner that him being a 33-year-old man Snapchatting a 19-year-old girl is completely inappropriate, and she can ask Google or any other lawyer for advice. Unacceptable. Exactly. Like, I know people like to argue the semantics of, oh, a 19-year-old is legally an adult, so it's fine legally. Yes, it might be legally, but morally? Come on now. You can't tell me it's not creepy. And even if you do, I'm not going to listen, because I think it's creepy. So then, Cookie McCuckacuck says, do you have the disposable funds necessary to hire a private investigator, in part to confirm, but also as an investment for a more favourable divorce settlement? And then the OOP says, we have a joint account and he might get suspicious if I withdraw a large sum of money. Maybe I can just investigate it myself. I would say that seems like your only option at this point. So April 19th, 2019, 1 week later. Thanks for everybody's advice on my first post. It's been an interesting week, to say the least. Last Friday after work, he left for a supposed weekend golfing trip with his 2 friends to a place only an hour drive away. Before he left, I texted the wife of one of his friends if she wanted to get together for a brunch on Sunday. She said she had plans with her husband. I then texted the wife of his other friend, and surprise, she confirmed that her husband was at home and not going on any trip. I pretended like I didn't know and said goodbye to my husband as usual. However, I had asked my retired uncle, 65, to follow my husband's car. Uncle's just going along with this for the shits and giggles and something to do, I will bet you. Bless him. My husband does not know my uncle, so I thought it was a good plan. How does your husband not know your uncle when you've been together for 7 years? Okay, strange, but fair enough. My uncle followed him to the airport and took a picture of him walking with the neighbour girl. He followed them and said that they checked into an airline with flights going to the Caribbean. I thanked my uncle and gave him money for gas in his time, but he refused. Uncle literally was just having a fun time playing detective, bet ya. I was obviously devastated, and my son and I stayed with him and my aunt for the night. They advised me to find a good divorce lawyer right away. When my husband came home Sunday night, I said I was filing for divorce. He acted really shocked and hurt and asked me why. I said I knew about his affair and I had proof, so he could stop acting stupid. He said I was mistaken. I then asked whether he enjoyed his beach vacation, and the look on his face was just undeniable. I guess he finally realised he was backed into a corner and had no more lies left to tell. I told him I just wanted to know why. He said that he was shy and insecure growing up and that he had really low self-esteem. He said he felt validated by the attention of a younger woman and said it made him feel wanted. Shouldn't having a wife and 2 kids make you feel wanted enough, mate? Like, some people, their cup is just never full. Avoid those people like the plague, by the way. He admitted that it was a crush gone wrong. I said there's no way I can trust him again. He said that's understandable and that he was sorry it come to this. He said he probably made a mistake by marrying in his 20s. Oh my goodness, what a twat. That some men were ready to settle down at that age, but he realised that he was not one of them. He said that he still loved me though, but that it was best if we went our separate ways. This is a lawyer, mind you. That's the best excuse he could come up with. He is a lawyer. The shittiest part of all this is, he's staying at his mistress's condo a few doors down while we get our divorce. Oh, that's awful. Like, having to see them come in and go in. Gross pun. I did not mean it. Like, you just wouldn't want to do that, would you? It will be a long few months, but I'm getting a good lawyer and making sure the future of my kids are secured. I also have a good support system around me. I'm planning on moving to another city after the divorce. It will be a while before I can learn to trust again. I've never hurt so much in my entire life. This level of betrayal from someone you thought was your soulmate is just indescribable, but I'm going to remain hopeful. Thanks for everyone's help and support. I wish it turned out different. TLDR, had my uncle follow my husband, he lied about a golfing trip. He actually went to the Caribbean with his mistress. Now, do we think the mistress is going to stick around for very long when all the divorce hassle comes and all the stress and the things that come with that? Because I know what I think. I think no, especially considering she knew about the wife. I always think I don't blame the woman when, or the man, you know, depending, when it's that they didn't know. They didn't know that the person they're with is married or in a relationship. I don't blame them. They've been lied to too, and I bet they hurt too because they have been cheated on too. But when someone goes after a married man, married woman, whatever, I mean, usually I will see follow-up stories on them on like Reddit, and the person, the mistress, has lost interest as soon as, you know, the guy is theirs and only theirs. They lose interest because the thrill was the chase. The thrill was taking them from someone else. Once they've got them and they're nobody else's, it's boring and they don't want to know anymore. Now, of course, that's not all the time, and, you know, it sometimes works out different, but that happens a lot in these stories, I've noticed, whenever we see follow-ups. So, yeah, I don't see this lasting very long. And also the fact that a 33-year-old and a 19-year-old will inevitably not have a lot in common. Just because those are two very different stages of life. One is a father, one is a 19-year-old, probably only just branching out and going her own way. So yeah, I see conflicts in the future. I've got my crystal ball and all sorts, and I see conflict. But, what a turd, and what an idiot as well. Like, I would not want him as my lawyer. That's all I can say on that one. So, down in the comments of the Best of Redditor Updates post, MindToxicity27 says, can't wait for the update where the 19-year-old moves on and he tries to come back. Exactly. And then Charlotte Lucas OP says, she's going to have less fun when he's got 50% of custody at her place. Exactly. And the fact that it's going to get boring because it's not a big secret and it's not all exciting and she's not trying to steal someone's man. Like, I think she's going to get bored, genuinely. And then Unintentional Wipe says, I feel like this is the type of guy who would easily forego his responsibilities of 50-50 and just pay child support while acting single. See, I do disagree to that point because he is a lawyer and he knows how the courts would look upon him if he did that. He knows, you know, he would have to pay full child support and he probably doesn't want to have to do that either because, you know, egotistical. Clearly he's egotistical. Oh, she made me feel special and wanted. Shut up. Having a wife and kids should make you feel wanted enough, pal. So I don't see him foregoing his responsibilities, even if he wants to, because I think that his wanting to look like the best will take over. Just a hunch, you know. I don't know him personally, but I've read enough of these. But yeah, I would love to know your thoughts on that one. Do we think that she's going to get bored and leave? I do. Hands up if you think she's going to get bored. Okay then, so next post posted by Direct Caterpillar 77 again. I, 24F, was placed for adoption when I was a few weeks old. My birth mum's attorney contacted me saying my birth mum wants to meet, but I don't want to meet her. Help. And again, not posted by Direct Caterpillar 77 originally, they just compiled it for us like a lovely wee bean. U/Dodongo Queen, that was hard to say, is the original poster. Originally posted April 6th, 2015. Say original again, Void. Bah! I guess there's not much more to say. Basically, my parents adopted me when I was 3 or 4 weeks old. I don't know much about my bio mum, other than I think the story is she was a teenage mum. I know nothing about my bio father. I've never really been curious or had a desire to know the story or my bio parents either. The fact of the matter is, my adopted parents are my real parents. They've raised me almost my whole life, and half the time everyone, including me, forgets I'm adopted. Oh, I love that. I'm glad that you found a really good family to be with. I'm now happily married and have a good start to my career. Recently, an attorney representing my birth mother contacted me saying my birth mother very much wants to meet me. Reddit. Well, I'm grateful to my birth mother for placing me for adoption and for giving me the best set of parents and brothers, my adopted parents' biological children, in the world. I'm not very interested in meeting her. I have no animosity towards her at all. As I said, I'm so grateful she gave me the best shot at life possible. But she is a stranger to me, and I feel no pull, tie, or even curiosity about her. I'm happy with my life and my family, and this just seems like it would disturb that or throw it out of balance somehow. Am I a horrible person for not wanting to meet my birth mum? No. I feel really down about it. My husband supports me either way, but he loves me like crazy and isn't the best for unbiased opinions. Neither my parents or my brothers know about this, just my husband, because I really don't want to involve them unless necessary. And what should I say to my birth mum's attorney to make the rejection and letdown as kind and easy as possible on my birth mum? I don't want to hurt her, but I don't want to meet her. I can totally understand that now. Of course, I am not adopted, so I don't know the ins and outs of it all and how you would feel and what have you, but it sounds like the OP has had a really good life with their adopted parents. You know, they feel utterly fulfilled by them, and I love that because so many times I have seen stories from adoptees who did not get good adopted parents, did not feel, you know, that sort of love and caring from their parents and fulfillment. And the fact that the OP is even so close to their brothers and, you know, they're the parents' biological children, but they obviously don't feel treated any different. I think that is amazing. And I understand why the OP wouldn't want to upset that apple cart. They've got their happiness, they've got their family, they've got their life, they completely forget they're adopted most of the time. And I wonder where that is where the pushback on meeting the biological mum comes from as well. A little bit of, well, I don't think of myself as adopted and I'm happy with my family, and if I have to meet her and I start conversing with her, it's really going to bring to the forefront the fact that I am actually adopted and maybe some feelings that I wouldn't have felt before if I hadn't heard from her and blah blah blah. And I can totally get it. I can totally understand why she doesn't want to upset her life. And also, I bet there's a little bit of a feeling of loyalty towards her adoptive parents and adoptive family because of the fact that they have treated her so well and been such good parents and such good family members. She probably, I imagine, subconsciously maybe feels a little bit of not wanting to upset them with it, not wanting to feel like she's maybe throwing it back in their faces. I don't know, because again, you know, I don't have that perspective to be able to say, but from an outside looking in on how maybe when I try and put myself in those shoes, I think maybe those are the thoughts that would be going through my head, perhaps. But again, I don't know because I don't have that experience to be able to really say. All I can say is I don't think the OP is a butthole for not wanting to meet her. I completely understand. And at the end of the day, if she doesn't want to, she shouldn't have to. Is it sad for the mum? Of course it is. But if it's going to cause her emotional harm, the OP I mean, then she shouldn't have to. TLDR, my birth mum placed me for adoption when I was only a few weeks old. I have a kick-ass family. 24 years later, my birth mum's attorney contacts me saying my birth mum wants to meet. I have zero desire to see her. Is there a way to let her down easy, or would I be a horrible person to pass this up? Do you know, I think one thing you could do is maybe just say to the attorney, look, I'm not ready for this now. I don't know if I ever will be. But can you give me the contact details in case I ever change my mind? So you're not completely closing that door, but you're asserting that you cannot do this right now and you will not do this right now. And you're also saying, don't get your hopes up because I don't know if I will ever be ready, but I will take them in case that ever changes. I think that's the way I would do it if I was in those shoes. Again, I don't know though, because I imagine things change a lot when you've lived it. So, relevant comments. Blade Dada. Yeah! That was difficult. I am no expert on the subject, but to me, it seems like your choice. She extended the invitation and you have every right to decline. No is a full sentence. You have every right to just respond and say no thank you. If you want to do something about it, maybe take some time to write up a little bio, a little essay about your childhood, your life, your husband, etc. The lawyer can give it to your birth mum. It might help her curiosity and assuage any guilt she has. Assuage? I don't know. That's one of those words I've always read but never said. I think that's a fair compromise. Since you have no ill will towards your birth mum, it doesn't seem like too much. Good luck. And then the OOP says, that's definitely something to consider for sure. I asked her attorney if I could please have some time to think about it, and he said take all the time I need. This might definitely be the perfect compromise for both of us. And then when I feel like it, I don't know, I might leave in how hard I found it to say that. I might not. Well, knowing who your birth mother is doesn't necessarily equal getting to know her or having a relationship with her. You don't have to want that. You don't have to want anything at all, and you're well within your rights to let the lawyer know this. Consider that it may be valuable in the future to at least know who and where she is, though. I mainly consider things because getting genetic heritage is something valuable to know in any cases of health, medical matters, yeah, it is to be fair, and also because your children may care to know this information or what your ancestry can tell them in the future. Knowing where you came from can help in unforeseen ways. I mean, maybe you could ask her solicitor then to write up a letter just saying a little bit about her, so you know more about her, and then that can maybe give you more of a clarity on what you want to do going forward. So, if you feel inclined, perhaps write a letter to the attorney asking to know your mother's name and location and contact number. But write another letter for the attorney to forward to your birth mother saying that at this time, you're not ready for a meeting or a relationship with her. Say what you've said here, that you are very happy with your life, that you had a great childhood with a loving family, that you have a promising career ahead of you, and that you have a husband who loves you deeply and you him. That may be all she really wants to know. Just how the baby she gave up turned out. Did she make the right choice? You may give her a lot of peace of mind if you just reach out with a letter this way. Yeah, exactly. And then that might get rid of those feelings of guilt that the OP sounds like they're having over not wanting to get in touch, because then they can feel like, well, they've given her something, you know? Then at some point in the future, you might have a change of mind or want to pass the information down to your own children so that they can pursue it on their own. Just some things to consider. OOP then says, this was really good advice, thank you. Hey, if it gives her peace of mind for her to know I had a fantastic life and a bright future ahead, then that seems like the least I can do for the head start she gave me. This OP sounds so sweet because rather than being angry at their parent for giving them up, they're like, I genuinely appreciate that she did for me what she thought was best, and my goodness, it has gone really dark outside all of a sudden and just started pissing it down. I hope you can't hear it because it's genuinely rattling against the windows. I don't think you will. I think it should be all right. So, we have an update April 18th, 2015. I just wanted to thank everyone who responded first of all. I took time to read all your comments and really think through them. Shout out also to my husband, who has been my rock and confidant in all of this. For anyone who didn't read, this is the original post. And then they obviously link the original post, but I don't need to link that because we've already read it. I just wanted to give a quick update and let everyone know what happened. I decided to write a little bio about myself. I gave a brief synopsis of my childhood, my parents and my brother. I wrote about my college major, my degree, my career, my husband, and my plans and goals, as well as hobbies I like to do. I also included a few photos of me, my husband, and my family. I also briefly thanked her for giving me a chance for a wonderful life, and that I was very happy. I sent everything to her lawyer and conveyed to him to tell my birth mum that I had thought long and hard about it, and I'm just not ready for a meeting or any kind of relationship at this point in time, but that I wanted her to have some takeaway. I also asked that if she had any relevant medical history on her side of the family, or if she knew about any health issues my bio dad faced, to please let me know, as my husband and I plan on trying to start a family in the near future. Her lawyer got back to me yesterday and said my birth mum was disappointed about not being able to meet me, but she was thrilled and grateful for the bio and pictures I had provided her, and it was clear I had been raised well, and that she also wanted to tell me that there was no major health issues in her family, and to the best of her knowledge, none for my birth father. But if anything came up, could she please contact me in the future? I responded that he, the lawyer, is free to reach out to me at any time if she has any relevant information in the future. I purposefully said this because I don't want my bio mum just calling me out of the blue one day and possibly trying to harass me into having a relationship. I would rather do everything through a legal third party. That's the best way to keep it right now, I would say, considering your reservations about, having a relationship or anything to do with her. That sounds really smart. I reiterated again, I don't want a relationship currently, but I might be open to it someday. I doubt it. And they were free to keep my contact information, and I would keep theirs just in case. Why burn bridges unnecessarily? He thanked me, and that was the end of that. I'm happy with my decision. Glad I could give my birth mum some closure that she made the right choice, and happy to be starting my life with my career and husband. I know this isn't really the typically juicy stuff Reddit likes, but it is what it is, and I just wanted to let all the people who took their time to help me know how it turned out. Thanks again. Edit for some grammar, and also I forgot to mention I told my parents and brothers about my birth mum contacting me and telling them that I did not want to meet her, but I did want to give her a quick blog about my life. I was worried my family would be hurt or not take it well, but nothing could be further from the truth. They were all super supportive, and they said they had my back no matter what decision I made, and that they would love me no matter what. They are very proud and happy for the choice I made here. I am so grateful to have such an amazing family. I really am blessed. I'm really happy for the OP, and how amazing do those parents sound, those adoptive parents? My goodness. Like, they really sound amazing, and they've obviously brought up the OP really well. So I'm very happy for her. I'm glad that she was able to find a middle ground that she felt happy with, to be able to send some info, but not too much, and, then not have to feel the guilt of not sending anything. I'm really glad about that because, yeah, I imagine that the OP sounds like quite a kind person, and I imagine that's something that would have perhaps played on her mind, feeling guilt for not actually sending anything. And I get that. I understand. I do get it. But no, I'm really glad they found a middle ground, and I really hope that the bio mum, respects her choices. It sounds like she is for now. It sounds like things are going through the lawyer, so I hope it remains that way. So, down in the comments of the Best of Redditor Updates post, Small Floral Prince says, honestly, OOP putting together that packet about her life for the birth mum was so kind. I know in my family, the person who had to give up a baby for adoption spent decades not knowing if the baby was loved, cared for, turned out okay, and in the end, finding out that the answer was yes, baby was, and giving them up for adoption made that possible was very healing. Not saying it's exactly the same here, of course, but kudos to OOP for the thoughtful gesture. And then Superground9690 says, a distant relative of mine recently made contact with her son who she was forced to give up when she was very young. Irish Catholic, sent to an unmarried mother's home. Her son had a good life and a loving family. They've met once, but I don't think they will again. It gave her some peace, more than 60 years after she'd had to give him up. And that's the thing, because not every child that's given up for adoption is given up by parents who don't love them. It can be that the parent loves them but is not able to keep them for fear of family retaliation. It could be that they're forced to. It could be that they just cannot afford a child. And they want that kid to have a good life. It could be that their health isn't in the right place to be able to look after a kid. There are many reasons other than them just being a bad parent and having the child taken off them, you know? And I think for those parents, it's nice that they're able to get some clarity, even if they don't get to have that relationship. You know, being a parent myself, I can imagine that not knowing what actually happened with your kid, your flesh and blood, would drive you mad. It would be a horrible feeling not knowing whether they had a good life. So just having that clarity, I bet, yeah, I can see how that would be healing. Okay then, so that's where we're going to leave it for today, and a really nice one there to end off on, I would say. It's been a while since we've read a really nice one like that. If you made it all the way to the end with me, then I appreciate you very, very much. If you give a little like, subscribe, notifications on, that is your initiation into the Coven of Void. Welcome. Don't forget to leave an offering of a comment for Big Al. We have a thunderstorm here now, so I wanted to record some more. It's not going to happen. I'm going to turn my laptop off because I see lightning in the distance. So yeah, whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Goodbye!